Jeannie Owens, and today I'm giving you some cooking tips for making gumbo. First thing is you want to do is prepare your Holy Trinity, which is celery, bell pepper, and onions. And I use generally for my gumbo about 4 or 5 bell peppers. I got some large ones, so we've got 4 here. About 6 or 7 stalks of celery, 4 or 5 onions, and then in the end you're going to want to add some green peppers. I also have garlic clove that we're going to add. The first thing is to prep all your vegetables, and I've got most of them ready to chop and go. But I wanted to show you something quick with the celery, and I'm sure most people know this already. You will want to peel the back of the celery. It has these strings, and all you got to do is just put your knife, grab, and pull down. If you don't, your celery will be very stringy. And me and my husband both have roots in Texas, Louisiana, and the Southwest, mainly New Mexico, both northern and southern New Mexico. Their food is totally different from the south to the north in New Mexico. And my little strings, I have a scrap bucket that I just throw it all in. Well, I'll pick that up in a second. So that's what you're going to want to do with these celery, is just kind of get rid of that string. My family is very southern Cajun Louisiana. My husband's family was more in the north. He has a little bit of Cajun root, but I've never been to a family reunion where I heard Cajun French being spoke. My family couldn't even understand my grandmother because she was so French. It was just unbelievable. So that is the first thing we're going to do, is prep all of our vegetables, known as our Holy Trinity. Alright, now I have my Holy Trinity, goodness, can't even hardly talk. Now that I have my Holy Trinity done, which is my bell peppers, onions, and celery, I am ready to check on the chicken, because I have a chicken boiling first, because this is, which I failed to say earlier, is going to be a chicken and sausage gumbo. Now here I still have my green onions left to chop, because the green onions go in after the gumbo is cooked. We are also getting ready to start the roux, and I will show you my roux process as I progress. Alright, for the roux, I put in a cup of oil, and the best thing is to use a cast iron skillet. And now I'm going to add about a cup or so of flour. I gotta pull this off real quick. Okay, now I'm gonna bring it back over. Alright, I just had my oil was very hot. Okay, the one thing with roux is that you want to give it a constant stir, because if you don't, you can chance your flour burning. It's about a 1-to-1 ratio. Sometimes I might go a little heavier with the flour, which that actually is about the right consistency. A little bit more. Okay. So it's, yeah, like I said, about 1-to-1 ratio. Now, what I see on TV, and you want this on a medium heat as well. I have to get a pot holder here. Not only on TV, but whenever I eat other people's gumbo, is that they tend to not get the roux dark enough. You want it to be kind of closer to a dark chocolate than a milk chocolate. But you definitely don't want a blonde roux, because then you're not going to get that bitter note that gumbo puts out. And it is still my... I will be so glad when I get a gas stove back. This stovetop does not regulate your heat very well. But you want to kind of do this on a medium heat. It's going to take you probably at least 30 minutes. And like I said, you want to give it a constant stir so that the flour browns at a constant same rate. Because if you let it sit, you're going to get pieces that are going to burn, and then your gumbo is going to be not so hot, because you do not want burnt flour roux in there. All right, and you can tell this has only been going actually about 5 minutes now, and it's already getting darker. But again, like I said, it's going to take quite a while. Now, as you can see, the roux has been going about 10 minutes now, and it's already starting to take on a butternut squash kind of coloring. And you can start, you can smell it now. But this is not dark enough. This is where people make their mistake. They think, oh, that's good. It's perfect. No, it's not dark enough. You still want it to be darker than what we have it. And also in the big pot, I've already got the vegetables in there, my Holy Trinity. Now, I do not think gumbo is gumbo unless it has okra, because okra is the term gumbo. That's what it means. Okay, sometimes if you don't treat okra right, it can be slimy. But if you're raised by Cajun Louisianan grandparents, you know that you slice your okra, flour it with flour, and then you toss it in a skillet with a little grease and fry it. And when you fry it, it takes your slime out. It also acts as a thickener in your gumbo. Now here I'm going to add, y'all can see how dark it's starting to get, but it's still not ready. Now, if y'all can see the color, I am past the dark or the milk chocolate stage, getting closer to that dark chocolate stage. I'm going to call and say that this is ready, and I'm going to go ahead and slide it off, but I have to keep stirring because of being an electric stove and a cast iron. That heat is still going. Now that I have my vegetables going and the roux is done, and you can also take and saute your vegetables in your roux. This is kind of an awesome sound here when I put this in, because it bubbles and steams because it's so hot. And you need to make sure you stir it good because you got to get that blended. Now we're going to put the lid on this in a minute, and that'll help those vegetables along. You don't want to do this from any great height because it will come back on you and burn you. That's such a cool sound and effect. Now look at that rich color that this is taking on in here. And for this size pot, I may not actually have enough roux. I may have to do another batch. Because like I said, sometimes I will do 2 cups. But we will see. It might be enough to get me through. And enough flavor. Because that's where your flavor is coming from. It's coming from the roux. It's not coming as much from the vegetables or the chicken, in my opinion. The best gumbo has got such a rich flavor. I think I've got it all. That's it. All right, let's get this stirred. You don't want the roux to drop and stick to the bottom when you first put it in either. Let's get that stirred up. Now, I have in the water already, I've got some salt and pepper that I boiled the chicken in. Now's a good time to go ahead and add your cayenne pepper and your other spices that you want to add. Now remember, I already put garlic in there. So now we're going to Add some black pepper. I know it already has black pepper in there. That may look like a lot. Okay, now for the cayenne. And I'm going to say that you want to add, probably for this size, for me, I probably would put 2 full teaspoons, or yes, teaspoons to start out. But you may want to add more. It's for your taste. See, I already have salt, so I'm not going to add much, but when I did add the vegetables, so I'm going to add another couple of peaches in there for now, and we're going to stir that. We're going to put the lid on and kind of let those seasonings and roux and vegetables meld together. And while this is doing, in the meantime, I will go ahead and debone the chicken, get my green onions prepped, and get the sausage cut. And we're going to put the lid on so that will help. All right, there is the finished product. Got my rice in the bottom, got my gumbo over the top, put a little green onion. And the one ingredient that I don't include when I cook my gumbo is filet. I add my filet after it's cooked. You just sprinkle a tiny bit on, and there you go. This is delicious. You can taste the fantastic. You can taste the smokiness from the sausage. You can taste the nutty bitterness from the roux, the chicken. The rice is just light and fluffy. Tastes like you're eating some air. Little puffy marshmallows that aren't sweet. Anyway, it's delicious. I hope you enjoy.